Did you know that some of America's most successful businesses can easily be replicated in Africa with massive profit potential? Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Uma, and today we'll be talking about 7 businesses that you can replicate in Africa and in other parts of the third world. Why Africa presents a great opportunity for these business models, and why is it an investment for you to consider? Number 1, growing middle class. Number 2, increasing internet penetration. And lastly, urbanization. Although most of Africa is still in the third world, investment opportunities are growing exponentially thanks to the rise of tech and globalization. Today we're looking at businesses that you can easily replicate in Africa and in other parts of the third world. At number 1, we have dropshipping. This is a popular American business model where a seller does not handle any of the shipping responsibility or own any inventory. To simplify it, what a dropshipper does is finds a product, markets it, and sells with their own markup. They're basically the middleman between the consumer and the supplier. There is a huge demand for imports in most African countries, so bridging that gap would be a noble business idea. And again, this is a popular business model in America, and it's really easy to replicate in African countries. What I admire about this business model is that you can do it from anywhere in the world. There is zero to minimum competition when it comes to print-on-demand shops. This idea is becoming more and more saturated in the US, but believe it or not, it is still pretty fresh in the developing world. You can run it from anywhere in the world. It's a bit pricier than opening a brick-and-mortar shop or an online store in that country, but it's more ideal if you are not open to maybe relocation. There is zero to minimum competition when it comes to print-on-demand merchandise in African countries. We have social media management and content creation. The increasing internet penetration births opportunities for social media marketing agencies as well as other forms of digital marketing. This is yet again another very popular American business model that you can easily replicate in developing countries. Minimal resources needed, so it's quite easy to set up this business model and you can do it from anywhere in the world. As Africa is becoming more and more in line, a huge market for digital marketing services is developing. If you're planning on starting an online services business and you're not based in the particular country where the business will be operating from, it's ideal that you get the phone numbers, bank accounts, etc. etc. I hate saying this, but if it's a saturated business model in America, it's probably still fresh in Africa. Delivery or local courier services. How can you get something from LA to New York? It seems like a pretty simple question, but in the developing world, that's a problem yet to be solved. Take for instance the courier guy in South Africa. They offer affordable courier services for ordinary people throughout the country. That's a good business model to replicate. This one is high priority, but it's a little expensive to set up. And lastly, selling and repairing mobile phones, gadgets, and electronics. Therein lies an opportunity to become a reseller, especially in landlocked countries that you know that it's difficult for the ordinary person to get something from Amazon or Walmart or eBay. Gadgets tend to be inexpensive in the developed world, and someone could take advantage of that. Major platforms like eBay and Amazon sometimes don't deliver to certain countries and territories, and even if they did, it is probably too expensive for the ordinary person in those countries. Therein lies yet another business. You could say it's becoming a runner or the middleman between Amazon, eBay, and the buyer. It's an easy model to set up, right? Essentially, you get a place where products are delivered to. You find a cheaper shipping courier, you add your own markup to the shipping cost, and that's when you make your buck. Or you could do like your own semi-drop shipping model, where you have your website where they purchase and everything. That way you can add your own markup to the products and your own markup to the shipping cost. And that's it. So those are 6 simple business models that you could replicate in Africa and in any other parts of the third world.